Two persons seeing the same object never see it in such a way as to obtain two identical images, declared the Swiss psychiatrist Carl Jung in 1921. In his book Psychological Types, in which he explains the introvert and extrovert personality types, he says that besides the differences in the organic perception of the object, there is also a radical difference in the psychological understanding of information and ideas. Welcome to another video. In this video, I try to highlight the strengths of introverted personalities. In comparison, I mention how extroverts behave in some aspects under the same circumstances. This is not to say that one type is good and another is not. It's important to acknowledge that being either an introvert or an extrovert is not a black and white issue. Rather, it falls on a spectrum, and most of us fall somewhere in between. However, if you identify more with one type than the other, you can draw upon the strengths of the opposite type to become more resilient and well-rounded. If you try to understand the basic differences between introverts and extroverts, introverts are more involved in their inner thought world and try to understand everything. Extroverts are more involved with things in the outer world and people. But we need to understand that part of the introverted self is busy taking care of its outer world, and a non-dominant part of the extroverted self cares about its internal world. So the most important thing with introverts is that their true self is within themselves, and only those who manage to get close to them and gain their trust get to see it. People who don't know them may assume otherwise and make mistakes. They also observe and understand their life experiences and store them to be able to apply them when needed. So they don't always rely on others for help or solutions. This is useful for managing life and career without unnecessary interferences, which can protect them when needed. Introverts handle situations in daily life in two ways. If the situation is familiar, they handle it with a calm strength and understanding. However, if it is a situation that is new to them, they take their time to gather information. Then they are able to analyze situations thoroughly and identify several possible solutions. They deal with solutions after they have formed a good picture of them. When allowed to move things along, this approach helps them to achieve good results. Extroverts often don't take the time to analyze different aspects of a solution. It's important to note that introverts value their own opinions and beliefs over the judgment of others. Once they have made up their mind about something, they are unlikely to change it. While some may view this as inflexibility, it can actually be an advantage in a highly competitive world. Whatever introverts feel, they feel deeply. They have strong emotions. Their kindness and empathy are profound when you ask it of them. They might actively listen to you, pay attention to you, and help you with an original point of view when you ask an introvert friend for help with a problem. They will also keep your confidence. If you are close to them, they will definitely stand by you in hard times. They are also steadfast in their opinion of you once formed. They will ignore others' opinions about you and your situation. This is especially beneficial if you are dealing with toxic relationships. But you need to know that introverts have a hard time expressing themselves. When they show loyalty or fall in love, they usually don't betray. They try to fulfill their duties and responsibilities to the best of their ability. They don't care if others around them are doing the same while they themselves are at it. Before they develop these feelings, they take their time. Because introverts are at peace with themselves and are tuned to their inner selves, they can develop a very specific individualistic view of everyday things. This different view could expand the available solutions to existing problems. It also makes them creative, becoming good inventors, scientists, and artists. Their ability to develop principles for developing new solutions to existing problems in these areas is extremely effective. Their efficiency will be greater if they can give free rein to their creativity based on the principles of their creation. Their creativity may take into account the existing factors to a lesser extent. This may be a strength in areas where new theories can be created. These abilities of introverts to feel and think deeply help them develop deep insights into things. Thus, they are able to provide you with more ideas and they can look at things from different perspectives. This can result in more opportunities and possibilities. What we need to keep in mind here is that we need to ask an introvert to contribute. Otherwise, they would remain silent without contributing anything. So it takes an extrovert to get the solution out of an introvert and apply it. Introverts like to work methodically, systematically, and in an organized manner. They are usually thorough and pay attention to details. They can focus and concentrate on a problem and bring order and structure to the matters at hand. Compared to extroverts, who sometimes love chaos and are easily distracted, it is best to have an introvert around when you have a complicated, confusing problem to solve. Another advantage of introverted personalities is their ability to find solutions in tricky situations where a solution cannot be forced. When they try to understand and analyze the situation, it becomes possible. Most of the time, they find inspiring solutions. Introverts don't depend on the circumstances in which they find themselves. Changes or turbulence in their environment don't affect them. They like to persevere. They also don't depend on the admiration or recognition of others. It's important for them to believe in their work. Also important to them that their work has meaning. Most of the time, they try to achieve perfection. They have the persistent energy to work continuously on something they love. Introverts don't require being around people to feel stimulated. This is not because of any shyness or anxiety, but rather their personal preference. Hence, their productivity might not decrease during periods of isolation like the one we all experienced a few years ago. They can work alone or from home with ease and meet deadlines while enjoying their work. On the other hand, an extrovert might not be as effective in similar circumstances. Introverts don't make their decisions impulsively. They apply their experience, information, and ideas before making a decision, relying on their own resources within themselves. They rarely allow themselves to be influenced by others. If they trust the opinions of others, it is only the few in their lives whom they trust. Therefore, when they make a decision, they try to stand by it. They try to follow the path they have taken without distractions. So, they can be relied upon and are stable in their path. Dr. Carl Jung said that the work done by introverts is profound and of lasting value. He also says that the introverted thinker merely reveals his ideas and does not seek to gain recognition for them. In comparison, extroverts respond to their circumstances. Please subscribe to our channel, like this video, share it and comment on it. That will make it possible for us to make more videos. According to Dr. Carl Jung and other scientists who have studied personalities, no one can be defined as having the characteristics of a particular personality type totally. The extent of personality type development depends on genetic, childhood, and various other factors. One goal of this video is to highlight that people who are predominantly introverts are strong in their own way. This diversity of personalities makes the world a better and more interesting place in which to live. Another reason for this video is that it is difficult for you to understand an introvert if you are an extrovert. Even worse, introverts don't help you understand them. So if you have some insight, that will help you. In conclusion, if you have an introvert in your life, especially if it is a loved one, you can help them develop the non-dominant part of their self to interact with the world and others by understanding the strengths of introverts. Thank you so much for watching.